For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated. More often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.
Sharks 31 beat the Melbourne Storms 26 in a somewhat unusual NRL scoreline.
Scorigami.
This is Baldo standing in for Lats, who was set to host his first ever ET Stand podcast, but he has been struck down, so I am here somehow just hoping to get through this one. So we're not quite as prepped as we might normally be, but I have a feeling, Sharks fans, that we're going to have no trouble chatting about this podcast and this great Sharks win. Joining me is the illustrious Christopher Kelly, who's been watching from home. Hello, mate. Did you enjoy that one?
Yeah, of course I did. Loved it. Bit of Ronnie magic. Bit of Ronnie getting the head.
Oh, how good was Ronnie?
He was good.
He was good. A couple of missed plays and missed balls and whatnot. I guess we're going to go through the different moments. What was your reaction at the end of the match? Boy,
Whoa.
That was just weird.
Yeah, it was.
What happened? Can you tell me what happened?
The right at the end?
Yeah.
It was a little Papenhuyzen, little comeback, little love tap right at the end on Ronnie to sort of, he was sick of Ronnie's shenanigans and gave a little shot at the end. And the referee said that if there was time left, he would have sin binned him, but due to there was no time left, said to Cam McGuinness, we're going to end the game. It's your penalty, but we're going to end the game, and that's it, because we don't want another kerfuffle to go on. So, it was just Papenhuyzen had a little shot right at the end.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, there was a bit of niggly and argy-bargy. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the match and what you thought the key moments were, and we'll give a reaction to those key moments. We are literally straight back from Shark Park right now, or Shark Stadium, as the saying goes. A lot of comments in here, so we're going through these. Scotty McLaren was in early. What a game. Had to call 119 here in Korea for an ambulance to bring the defibrillator at the end.
No worries. We had this. We
had
this in the bag.
Never worries. I tell you what's going to come up as a talking point was they're taking the 2 points at 9 points up to 11. Goodness me. What did you think of that moment in the decision-making of the Sharks? 2.0 in the comments. First thing, commenting that these two were going to be late. Well, yeah, that's why they were late. So Scotty McLaren saying that maybe they should have covered for them. So, Scotty, you can certainly jump in. We've got 2.0 in the green room. 2.0, can you give me the thumbs up if you've been able to watch the Fitzgibbon press conference yet? No. All right. Can you watch that? Give us the thumbs up. All right, sweet.
It seemed like the post game was a bit of a closed locker room. So it was only Steve Mason, Mezzatesta in there, and they sort of shut out the fans, and the team was having a bit of a debrief themselves. So they hadn't broken the song yet. So I'm sure the press conference is a little bit of time away yet.
All right, fair enough. All right, Christopher Morwitzer in the comments. Oh, what a great night. Welcome back to Shark Boys. Good to see you, Chris, in the comments there. And Scotty McLaren just confirming for us there. Yes, it was awesome, especially after losing Stone Street and Jesse early. They were certainly down on troops. If you would like to join the show, there is a link there in the comments somewhere I'll get to in a minute. Brad Lewis, I thought Baldo had given us the almighty jinx when none other than Grant Anderson crashed over and touched for the first try. Who's Grant Anderson?
There was a lot of messages in our Discord and the game day chat, even from Franco. I even sent one to Baldo in our group chat. And even my brother texted me and said, now Baldo knows who Grant Anderson is. So he scored the first try of the match. So I hope you know who he is now, Baldo. He actually
looked pretty good.
He laid down later on he was trying to get a little penalty out of
it. Oh, wasn't he trying to milk one?
He was. But hey, Ronnie did one too, so it's fair game.
Yeah, right. Now, you know what else we have? Glenn Thompson confirming it for us. Is the third try principle wins again. Great winning against the top side. Here is the link for joining the show. We've got Ash Williams in the green room as well. We'll get to that. 2.0 calling out that we are 2-0 since Baldo's Grant return. He will claim this. That's true. The Sharks have been looking good ever since.
I want to see Glasser. Go. Bring up Glasser's
card. All right. As a neutral, great game and good win for the Sharks, but does Mulitalo need to do all the carry on? I'm starting to feel he is overstepping the mark. All right, let's get that in the comments. Let's dig deep on the Ronaldo Mulitalo. There's a whole bunch of pestiness there and a bunch of aggro. What did we make of that, Chris?
I like it because he's not pushing over the edge. Now, hello to Chris, who is a Bulldog supporter and a big supporter of Reed Marnie, who likes the actual push and niggle that gets in the Brayley's face in other games and things like that. But I like the Ronnie's more. He's the more, as much as Boldo hates it as well, clapping the mistake. So he's a big believer of clapping the mistake and getting the opponent's heads, which seemed to work. But it's all fun and games. Like even when he was giving it to Xavier Coates there towards the end, it's just a bit of fun. It's all love afterwards. And even the handshake at the end with Papenhuyzen, they both just shrugged it off that what happens on the field stays on the field. So he's pushing the limits, but he's more into the lairiness more than the grubbiness yet. So hopefully he doesn't cross that line. But there was obviously a few texts I got when he went down for what he thought for 2 weeks in a row now was a high shot and went for a captain's challenge. And poor Ronnie's got to stay out of those captain's challenges.
Well, he did have a couple of errors and gave, 3 penalties away in the match. So it wasn't a perfect match for Ronnie by any means. I can see you in the green room, Ash. I'm going to ask you about the referees in a minute. So we're going to get your view on the referees because I know how much you love talking about them. I'll tell you what else they did, which was brilliant, I thought, Chris. Did you notice this on the TV? Is that they were swapping Ronaldo for the wings at the end of the match to mark up against Xavier Coates. So I thought that was quite tricky. And so then they switch back and then switch back again. Yeah,
a lot of egg on our face for questioning the decision of Atkinson on the bench in regards to that. Because if we had 4 forwards, going to be in big trouble. Atkinson scoring a double out there on the wing. So good ploy by the coaching staff to switch Ronnie onto Xavier, who was given, obviously, Atkinson all hell. But in the first half, Ronnie was given Farlogo a lot of hell as well. So a bit of 50-50 on each side. And especially that breeze, was it strong down there, Boldo? Because they were talking about it, but it seemed like we had a lot of good kicks in the first half, and then Munster absolutely rained on Kennedy for those 3 sets in a row. Where just mistake after
Kennedy.
Mistake after mistake. And I could only imagine what Boldo was yelling out to Kennedy.
I love it when Kennedy drops the ball, Chris. Goodness me, I was not happy when Kennedy dropped the ball by any means.
But
all right,
to his credit, he come back, he stood up, he had a good game besides those errors and kicked on from there. So pretty much set up Acco for the last ceiling try. So yeah, but is it Tomo's come up with the comment there, or who's come up with the comment there?
We answered Stuart Campbell's comment there about the coaching move. Let's just hit through the rest of these comments and then we'll get Ash in. Julie Dixon says, love my Sharkies. What a game. Was a good game. Stuart Campbell reiterating that it was the best win of the year so far. Benny Turner up. G'day. Good to see you. All right. John has asked the question. Long time viewers of this show. I'm waiting for Paul to come into the comments and just say, stop talking about this. John has come in the comments saying, Talakai and Atkinson actually looked more promising than Ramin and Stone Street in combination attack. I'm going to say, John, Talakai looked better in attack. Talakai as the centre, I think that might be the thumbnail for the Tuesday night show and leading our discussion. Get it in the comments. What did you think of Talakai in the centres gang?
Let's bring it back up. Talakai to centre.
Let's bring it back up. Julie's calling out for Ronnie to calm down a little bit in the comments. And then we've got X Define here saying, whoa, this is quick assessment of the game. You boys are fast. Yeah, well, we're just straight after full time, mate. And also, we don't have our notes as good as we normally do because Lats was going to do, though.
And this is our Boldo and I debrief. We win. It's very quick. It's very fast.
Just says talking to it.
We're pumped up. We're excited.
Yeah, let's just go. All right, let's keep going. Good combat tonight by the halves tonight too. Tricky and Hynes was solid. Yeah, we're going to put that one in ice. Let's all right, let's bring in Ash.
Can you hear me? Sorry, my reception's pretty bad. Sweet, how are we?
Yeah, good, buddy. Did you enjoy the match? Where did you watch it from?
Molly Porter. Was in the Molly Porter stand.
Oh, that would have been good fun. What did you make of the refereeing performance tonight?
Look, everyone that says Adam G is probably one of the best in the game, definitely not tonight. Definitely not tonight. Like, there was a few calls. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there was a few that went against us. There was
Yes.
what about the tackle off the ball for the Kennedy drop? Ash, did you might have been a bit too far away for you for that one. Chris, did you suck that one?
Yeah, I couldn't see much of it from my seat in Monty Porter.
Yeah,
But
it was one of
couldn't
those.
see much. All I saw was, because I was on Family Hill for the first half with a few mates, and ended up going back to my seat for the second half. So, yeah, I was in and around a few places throughout the 80 minutes.
Yeah, so Chris, that one must have been tackled off the ball. Why wasn't that?
Yeah, there was. We obviously had Ennis and Warren in commentary, and they were a bit iffy on it. But it was more of a contest of the ball. You could have probably called it, but Hughes at that stage is going for the ball, so they just wrote it off as one of those shoulder-to-shoulder contests. So I don't know why Kennedy.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know
It
why
actually
Kennedy
wasn't Warren
out.
Smith on commentary, Chris. It was actually Dan Janane and Michael Ennis.
Oh, Franco's favourite, Dan Ganane.
Yep.
Well, he would have been riding the storm home. Goodness me. And then what about, there was also the other one. There was the strip that wasn't a strip as well. That was a bit tough on the Sharks, I thought, Chris, at the end.
Yeah, there was another one that was a bit tough as well, was the Ronnie passing off the ground, where we've seen over the last couple of years.
That was bull.
Yeah, we've changed it. Oh, you nearly got him. But we changed the rule over the last couple of years where if a referee calls held, you actually go back and play the ball. And Ronnie just sort of got up and went on, and it should have gone back to a play the ball. So I haven't seen one of those penalties given since they've changed that rule. So it was another bizarre one. So we obviously got the benefit of a strip one. There was a couple of high shots that were let go. There was quite a bit of stuff that sort of went on. There was the worst one that I was really annoyed about was with the Storm were
Must be
blowing
a
up
faulty
in the second
NBN
half.
signal, Chris.
No, nothing, no. But there was the worst one was when the Storm were claiming a strip on our line when they were in the attack, and Jerome Hughes wanted the challenge. He came in as a third man to make an extra tackle and was holding on and made a tackle, and the whole crowd was going bananas. The referee went, "Oh, just play on," and we should have had a penalty on our own 10-meter line. Like it was quite bizarre. So yeah, no one can say we had the run of the green, but I'll tell you what, from watching the women's origin to the game today, there's been some horrible decisions over the weekend. So there's going to be some massive reviews coming into Origin.
All right. Well, Ash, let's get coming back to you. You're obviously walking back to the train station. Who is your...
No, I'm actually walking home from the ground, actually walking home to Marinda.
All right. Well, who was your standout performance, mate, for the match tonight? Who do you thought played well for the Sharkies?
Look, for me, it's split between Brayley and Nicho. For me, it has to be Nicho. For me, at a close percent, just won us the game at the end, Nicho, for me. So that's my 3 points for me. 2 points, AFB at a close second. And for me, 1 point will be Will Kennedy for me.
Even though he dropped the ball 4 times, Ash?
That's it. That's his 1 point. You can't dispute his 1 point.
I thought Kennedy had a shocker.
You guys
tonight,
are cutting
Ash.
out.
All right, Ash. Well, we'll say thanks for joining us, buddy. It was good to see you. And we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Get
Thank
home
you.
safely. See you, mate. All right, that was Ash Williams. If you would like to join the show, I'll just paste it in again. You can have your say. A couple of subjects we need to cover off on, including the halves, Talakai as the centre. Let's dig deep into that, Chris. Talakai was so good at centre when he came in, wasn't he? He was.
When he came in, he was actually playing in the second row. He hadn't come in at centres at that stage when he first come on, and then they shifted him out there. And that flick pass was just something to behold. It was even
post hands at Talakai.
Oh, even post game, Brayley was singing his praises how much of a freak he is. Like it was just what an absolute flick pass from out wide and just set it on from there. But then he was going back and finding his work in the middle, and that's why we miss him out there playing as a starting centre. Like we used to question his fitness a little bit, but it was those runs that he comes in off our own line that we miss out on. So hopefully he's
just getting 20 minutes. 20 minutes out of Talakai is not enough, Chris. We need more minutes. He's just too good. He's just too good.
Yeah.
So I tell you what was funny at the game is that the flick pass that Talakai flicked out to Atkinson, the Sharks media guys clearly didn't realise that they put up Talakai as the try scorer and celebrated Talakai by accident, because clearly Talakai was like the absolute key dude in that moment. I think Talakai's yep.
It came out of nowhere and was the opposite corner of where you guys would be sitting, so it would have been hard to see. But it literally, like, he was dying with the ball, and the ball flipped out to Atkinson and went over and scored.
It was a flick pass. He knew what he was doing.
It was so good.
What are you talking about? So good. What about when we had Nicho Hynes throwing the ball to Britton Nickera, Talakai, and Ronaldo Mulitalo on the right-hand side towards the end of the match? That was like such a brilliant attack. I thought those guys were looking in pretty good shape. Look, they managed. You have to say the Sharks managed the injuries very well tonight.
Yes.
What did we have? So talk us through. I'm not across what the specific injuries were. So what did Stone Street have, Chris?
So Stone Street, what they're saying at this stage is probably a syndesmosis before he has an X-ray. So unless it's a fracture, it's going to be a syndesmosis. It was a crucial point in the match I wanted to bring up, was in the 20th minute there, where we could have gone to Iro on the wing if we went out wide out there, because he was playing a bit of switchy up with Ronnie there, and we had an opportunity to go out wide to him, but Ronnie decided to go back in field, which is fair enough. And then Stone Street was taking up his hit up, but his ankle got stuck in the ground, and he kept going one way, and his ankle was stuck the other way. So straight away he went down, and it's not good signs at the moment. He just does some scans and works it out from there. So and obviously the other one was Jesse Ramian got an accidental poke in the eye. We all know how bad they are. If you get a poke in the eye, it's very hard to recover from that. They obviously played the HIA card, which was a bit interesting, but said he won't return. So we can know those can sort of, your blurred vision comes up and swelling. So it was just he wasn't going to return from that. So obviously the worst coming out was Stone.
I didn't even see him on the bench at the end of the match or during the match.
No,
he didn't come back out.
He probably would have been inside with an eye patch and trying to sort it out, because he never recovered from it, never got back up on the field, and we actually ran a set without him in attack. So Stone Street's obviously the worst, and we'll have to see where we shuffle the team from here.
All right, so let's chat about what you would do with the team. I'd play Hero on the wing with Talakai in the centres is what I would do. Chatting to our dear friend Franco, he was all about next man up, bring up one of the young blood, one of the kids. I just think you can't not play Talakai for more minutes given that performance tonight.
Yeah.
You just can't. He's just too good.
I just don't want the horror show of where we've seen before, where Atkinson gets selected full-time in the centres and Hero gets pushed to the wing, or Atkinson on the wing, where we've seen before. It hasn't worked out. It worked out tonight on the run, but yeah, I'd probably prefer Superman on the wing than anybody and go from there.
Yeah, Superman on the wing for mine. Well, Ramian will be back next week, won't he?
He should be. We play the Roosters and we have a bye, so double points round, as I like to call it. A 4-point game.
It's not double points round. It's
4-point game.
It's not a 4-point game. It's a 4-point game. Oh God. Oh God. All right. Let's hit through some of these other comments. Tomo is in the comment saying G was good in some situations. However, he let it go, the ruck go on for Melbourne for key players. That's true. X-Defiant. But the ref didn't call held. His hand hit the ground and then he passed. That's why it's a penalty. But if the ref called held simultaneously, then it's a play the ball.
Yeah, it's on the Ronaldo call with the where he's called his pass off the ground. But it's one of those rule changes they've made where I haven't seen in a long time a penalty. Like normally they just say go back and play it. So
I thought they could have done that.
It was a tough 50. It was a tough 50-50, but it didn't result in anything, so we'll take it.
Indeed. All right, Mike Knight in the comments. Apparently the Sharks are no good. All right, so after beating the Melbourne Storm, let's get this in the comments, guys. Do we now believe the Sharks are a top 4 bound team, and can we give this premiership a shake? How much more confidence do you have now, Chris Kelly?
Oh, I never wavered from the confidence. We always spoke about how bad the travel was, the travel bug we got out of it. You know, the Vegas to Newcastle to North Queensland to Canberra to Magic Round to all over the place. Like it's to Manly again. It's been awful. So the players spoke on it. Inner spoke about it on post game, saying that you don't realise how much they've been travelling. We hadn't played at home for 6 weeks. Literally a home game for 6 weeks. It was unheard of. plus the travel. So it's been.
I was away for 10 weeks, Chris, post Las Vegas, and I only missed one home game.
Correct. That's what we're saying. So imagine that as the players, where you're just not playing at home and getting that, the massive Boldo yelling for up Cronulla and your favourite fan down the front without no shirt on. And I've got a sneaky photo.
Did you see him on the TV?
No, Zach sent me a photo. So.
Goodness me. So it's a bit of that carry on. Yeah. Old mate with the Sharks tattoo. Goodness me. Put your shirt on. Oh, God. What are you doing? I've got a bone to pick, Chris. Let's get an opinion of this one.
Yeah.
What did, so at the game tonight, I think they were called SBA, filled their corporate box with about 12 Storm fans. It was not cool in the ET stand. That was not cool.
Oh, that's not cool. If you're going to do that, guys, shut the door. Let them watch it on the TV. They can drink all the food.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Yeah, don't have a mouth leaning out the window. Come on, guys. Like, make it. Oh, whoever running that box needs to have it checked, please.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. X Define in the comments saying, yes, we are a top 4 team. Have been for 4 years. What's everyone talking about? You travelled more than anyone. That's all true.
Can I bring up the best point, though? We kicked the field goal.
Yes, we did!
We just keep ticking these boxes. We broke the streak of a captain's challenge, but we've now kicked the field goal.
I couldn't believe it when we kicked a field goal. Franco was so excited.
And I asked you, Boldo, and I'll ask the fans out there as well, because what's 5 + 1? What was wrong with another field goal? We're up by 5 points.
Nothing.
So I don't understand. If you're going to take the two up 9 to go up by 11, why wouldn't you attempt another field goal to go up by 6?
Yep. All right, let's talk about the penalty goals. We know how much I love talking and taking the 2.
You would have been fuming.
So the Sharks are up by 9 points with a penalty goal pretty much in front, but 30 metres back, which is not a regulation kick by any means. And the Sharks elect to take the 2, which would have put them up by 11. Now, the thinking is, and we went through this at length, and I was very passionate about this, the difference between being up by 2 and up by 4 is a lot. 4 to 6 is a lot. 6 to 8 is a lot. But 7 to 9 is not really much of a difference. 8 to 10, not much of a difference. Now, the scenario of 9 to 11 is so rare that we didn't even bother drawing it out.
Scorigami.
It's literally a scorigami tonight. So I was surprised that they took the penalty goal to go 9 to 11. But what even surprised me more is that Hynes missed.
Yeah, I don't mind the buffer in the fact that it was at a crucial stage where it was about 16 to 15 minutes left in the game. It gives everyone a bit of a breath, a bit of a calm down. Again, we talked about it. We lost a winger and a centre.
Well, that's what they were trying to do, wasn't it?
Yeah, the pressure's on our backs, which showed with Coates scoring a triple, nearly a quadruple. Calm everyone down. I hate seeing it at the moment where every single team's taken on the Warriors mantra of let's score a try and go down in a huddle and get down and have a breath together. And it's kind of like the high fives in the dressing room before the game. Every single team's doing it. So I
thought we started that.
No, the Warriors did that a long time ago. Because remember, the Warriors used to get hyped and start to throw the ball around and start to try and score off every play. So that was their way of calming down many years ago. So every team's now taking it on, so it's nullified. But a crucial.
But back to the 2. Let's cover off the 2. Can we get some comments in there?
Nicho had not missed all night from every sideline. Zach was texting me saying he's not going to miss tonight. He couldn't miss from right or left side. It was unbelievable. And from where he was kicking from, he had the ball on a string. So I was backing the kick it. You wind it down to about 13 minutes. They're going to take a kick. We get the ball at about 11 and a half. We're up by 11. And it's you're making them score converted tries twice. Papenhuyzen was struggling with the boot as well. So very quiet night from Papenhuyzen as well.
Well, he did hit the upright.
He did twice. But the score wasn't going to change it, but I think the psychological was going to change it. So, but the worst part was then not getting the ball back off missing the penalty kick was just horrendous. And they got the ball on the 4-metre line. So
it was another Kennedy error, wasn't it? All right, we've got Scotty the Korean is in the green room. So key questions. Scotty, let's work out if you can get your camera in zoom there. Your head's going to look a bit big there, mate. There we go. All right, sweet. Let's get him in. All right, Scotty from Korea, mate. What'd you make of that match?
The game itself, man, defib worked a treat, so I was very happy with that.
You didn't actually need the defib, did you?
I was very close to it.
Yeah, right. What was
Very
that, just the
close to
panic at the end? What did you make of the panic at the end and the argy-bargy and the penalty and the kick up in the air and the possible head high and the... What did you make of that?
To be honest, they needed to put Mulitalo on that wing. There was a huge height difference between Atkinson and Coates, and always knew in the first half once they put Atkinson there that Melbourne would target him. They always do that to Katoa over the last few years, so they needed to match height and have a leaper there as well. So Papenhuyzen very lucky that it was full time. I thought he would have got sent for that because it was a deliberate act. But I loved it. I loved it. It was good that the boys showed a lot of passion to stand up.
What about Ronaldo shaping up to Nelson?
He can do that because he knows that there's not going to be any punches. So in that, I think if Nelson said fight me at the end of the year in a boxing match, he probably would back down.
I think he probably would. What'd you make of Talakai's extended minutes, mate? We've been we're typically only seeing, 20 to 30 minutes from Talakai in matches this season. I think he ended up having something like 60 minutes or possibly more. What did you make of Big Siffer?
I love Big Siffer. In fact, since he started with the Sharks in 2020, I've been calling him to get a lifetime contract. The only issue I had was defensively, Anderson caught him out, and if Anderson's not as quick as some of the other players, so they didn't catch him out too many times. But attacking wise, with his hit ups, he's really good. Like, we need more of that. It really depends how long Jesse could be out for, because if he didn't come back, and I didn't really see him on the bench or in the dressing rooms after, so he could have been sent for a scan, so he could have like a serious eye problem there. So he could be out for a few weeks if that happens.
So what team would you pick? What would be your back line?
Well, considering
Street's out, Katoa's out, and Ramian's out. What do you do?
So I'd be happy to go Talakai in the centres or Vela. Bring Vela in. On the wing, it's a bit difficult. We're pretty low on that, so I might have to go Atkinson there.
Oh, it hurts, doesn't it?
It does hurt, unless they want to bring up someone from Newtown, but the way they've been playing lately, it's, The
problem is, next week they face the Roosters, and they've got Nakawasi out there and Daniel Tupou on the opposite wing. So probably two of the hardest at the moment to stop if you watched the game last night. To have
all right, super fan, bloody Rooster, Chris Scott.
I'm just saying what the opposition we're going to face. They lost last night. What the opposition they're going to face next week, we've got to take into consideration, because they're two monster wingers. Like, we just take on Xavier Coates. So Daniel Tupou is just exactly the same height and jumping ability, and Nakawasi scored a double last night. So it's going to be a tough going.
That's true. All right, Scotty, give us your 3-2-1, and then we'll get our regular friend 2.0 in.
So I'll go Nicho for 3. I'll go AFB for 2 and Talakai for 1.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. All right, Scotty from Korea.
One's Volder. You can't tell them no.
I told Glenn Thompson no. I just told him he was wrong. Scotty, if I don't agree with you, I'm going to tell you that your 3-2-1s are wrong. Don't worry.
Well, we got Scotty Boldo. You asked him about the panic. How was it at the ground, Boldo, when it was the Canberra game starting to run in your head, the West Tigers, they had to go 97, and then they dropped the ball, and then we got a penalty against us, and they had a kick touch. Surely there was a bit of panic.
I was worried when the bomb went up and there was the argy-bargy that there was going to be some BS Storm penalty. Yep. I must have thought that was a bit of a worry. And then because the clocks weren't working on the ground either, we were unsure what the time was. So that was also a bit funny. So, but look, I was pretty confident. I might have been. I said 9 minutes to go, we were going to win. And then Chris Franco hit me over the head and said, "You idiot! You can't say that." And Franco was not confident. Franco was like, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. We're going to lose. So I guess we know who the doomsdayer is. We had a cute little cuddle in the video on the Instagram. So, all right, Scotty, legend from Korea. It was good to see you, mate. Thanks for coming in and joining. Always good to see you.
Thanks,
we'll see you next time. All right,
Scotty.
see you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, that was Scotty from Korea. All right, now.
Surely we're going to change it to Scotty Too Hottie.
Oh, we do have to change him to Scotty Too Hottie, don't we? All right, now. The champion of the comment section. The undisputed king of being the Goat Street fan is now going to join the debrief, a regular dial-in contributor, Williams 2.0. I guess we've got to start. Hello, sir. I guess we've got to start with the obvious question. Stone Street, bad injury. What's your diagnosis? How long do we think you might be out for, and what's your take?
Well, I've only just stopped crying in the corner. Apparently, it's a syndesmosis, so 6 weeks. So it doesn't look great. Sione should be back in the next couple of weeks, probably after the bye, I'd imagine. But yeah, not a great look, and with Jesse going off too.
What happened to Jesse?
He copped it. He went off for a head knock, but he passed the HIA, but couldn't come back on because he got poked in the eye. So his eye must have closed up pretty severe.
Yeah, right. And then he didn't come out onto the bench, so therefore he must have been in pretty bad shape.
Oh, he just said it doesn't look long term. So hopefully he's back next week. They may, depending, because we've got a few people out now. He might be. Well,
we got a lot of people out. What do we have? 5 people out injured that we were talking. Rudolph and Hazelton and Teague Wilton. Kate Dykes, Liam Ison, Tony Katoa.
You'd imagine Teague will be back next week.
That's 6 out. We might have 7 or 8. Yeah, look, we're basically struggling for Origin. All right, give us the rundown. What did Fitzy say in the what did Fitzy say? I'm going to start calling myself Buzz 2.0 with his social medias. But he said, they asked, where does it rank for him? He goes, yeah, it's definitely up there. A bit of turbulence to deal with during the game, obviously with losing the 2 boys. But they can. I think he reckons both teams can play better, but the standard of the game was pretty full on. And I don't think anyone can argue with that. The contact, just the consistent. I think the ball was in play for the majority of the game, apart from penalties and stuff like that. The 2 injuries, he goes, we always prepare for what may happen. He thought we may need Atkinson. He'd probably been thinking out most of the season, to be quite honest. Not expecting to lose 2, but with Sifa and Atco, we had the cover. So he was pleased with that. Asked about Ronnie and his antics, and let's be honest, I've got something for you right here. I love the boy. Yes! I love the boy. I love the boy.
I always clap the
love him. Clapping the mistake.
I love when it comes off because
2.0. Whilst it's fun, you having the Ronaldo head, it's not as good as me having the McInnes one. That's still the best.
5 of me, mate. I've got 5. What have we got? We got Toby, we got Sammy, we got Britton, we've got Nicho, and we got Ronnie. So, mate, we're all above that.
Were you at the game? 2.0?
No, I wasn't at the game. I had the kids to start.
Oh yeah, keep going through the presser. Keep going through the presser.
So Ronnie says he wears his heart on his sleeve, sticks up for his teammates. He pushes the boundaries, but he doesn't step over it like say a Reed Marnie. He gets in people's faces, he gets energized, and he brings that energy to the team. He sticks up for his teammates, he gets in the thick of it, and what you see on the field isn't who he is off the field with the countless charities he helps out with and the appearances he does. And we all know that as Sharks fans, we know that. It was kind of similar when Mick Guinness was at the Bulldogs. We all hated him, and then he come to Cronulla, and we knew how much we loved him. So we need that kind of person in our team. We always have someone that other teams hate, Gal, Mick Ennis, that kind of thing. So I got no problem.
Who was the Gal before Gal?
I enjoyed it. Who was it before Gal? I don't remember that far back, mate. I've had a few too many beers over the years.
Greg Bird was a bit of a
Birdie was with Gal. Yeah, Birdie was with Gal.
I think Birdie was a pest. Who was that, Chris?
Chris
Chris
Beattie.
Beattie. Chris Beattie was the pest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to say so. All right, anything else from Fitzy?
Yeah, he asked about Seefer, and he goes, he hasn't played too much because the couple of times he's been out with head knocks, it's been pretty quick. So, but we know what he can bring. You mentioned the flick pass, and that's what he's capable of. I'm getting a bad feeling that people are going to start bringing out he should be a center again.
It's coming. It's coming 2.0.
I don't think so.
It's coming.
But asked about the travel, obviously. He goes, yeah, listen, he doesn't know the last time someone's played 7 to 8 weeks on the road, even though 2 of those games were home games. He said none of the team cared. They don't give a rat's. They just get on with it and next one up, next game up kind of thing. Injuries, as I said, Sammy's probably a syndesmosis. Jesse, an eye injury, not expected long term, so he might play next week. He might just wait until after the bye. Michael Gabriel, anybody. What else have we got? Asked about no Origin players. It says it helps because we've got so many injuries at the moment, so we don't need any more players out, which is good. Asked about Blake in the middle because he did speak about the middles and he didn't mention Blake. He just said 114 games straight. He's a tough kid and he's playing unbelievable. And I think tonight it's definitely in his top 3 games for Cronulla, especially in a big game. I think his tackling was unbelievable. The way he was darting out a dummy half is exactly what we want to see. But that's off the back of the best front row in the competition. So
he was good, Fonua-Blake, wasn't he?
Oh, mate, unbelievable. That's what we bought him for. These big games, he has a chip on his shoulder and he wants to play well. He topped the run meters. I think he's up to 227, something like that, off 21 hit-ups. Unbelievable. The impact he had. He had to have a little spell because he was buggered, but other than that, mate, he was unbelievable.
He jagged a try, didn't he, tonight?
He did.
He scored. He bagged another one, 2 in a row.
The third.
Probably saved a couple as well through the middle. So
right.
2, 3. He's a freak. He is an absolute freak.
He certainly is. All right. Any other key moments? What did you make of the penalty goal choice 2.0?
I did say in the Discord channel we should have bought him a calculator because it does 9 to 11 doesn't mean much.
Well, it's such an unusual scenario that I didn't even cover it in our chat the other day. Like, that just never happens.
I mean, it's crap that he missed it, but goal kicking was eventually pretty much what won us the game. He was 5 from 5 through try conversions, and Trindle slotted. We finally hit a field goal.
Oh, 5 was quite a good field goal.
It was a beautiful field goal, but goal kicking is what won us the game. And yeah, okay, it took about 2 minutes off the clock as well.
Yeah.
So
that did it gave us a bit of
okay, you missed it.
It probably falls in the calculations of your 8 to 10 range is where it probably falls still into that range.
Oh, it's similar to that. So what was interesting is that because the Storm scored straight away and then missed the kick, we then got exactly the scenario that they were playing for to get ahead by 5 if the Storm had scored, because we would have been ahead by 11. So we actually were played ourselves into that same scenario. I don't love being ahead by 5 points. You'd certainly feel a little bit more comfortable being 6 points ahead. It was an very odd scoreline.
It was, but Paps was also not the greatest goal kicker. He's been scoring points through tries and conversions next to the post, and he can strike them sweetly. He hit the post and just missed the second one, but he's not like a Cleary or a Mitch Moses or a Zach Lomax kind of thing where you go, oh, he's going to nail it anyway. It doesn't matter. You do have that bit of...
He had a very quiet night by his standards. He was very quiet.
Yeah, who was he? He's nothing.
Yeah.
Like they said that in the broadcast that we controlled him.
That's probably shout out to our forward back. That's what I was going to say. It's probably shout out to our forward back because they weren't rolling forward. They were making meters, which I call dead meters, when they come off their own line and get to about the 40 and 50 and get to an attacking kick, but it doesn't really affect anything. So it just nullifies Papenhuyzen out of there.
Yeah. And I think if you look at the game overall, the only person that played well in the spine for Melbourne was Munster. He tore us apart. Yeah. Like Jerome Hughes was quiet. Grant.
He made a couple of breaks, Jerome Hughes. He wasn't terrible.
Half breaks maybe, but he wasn't. Munster controlled that game from him. Without him, maybe one of them steps up. You don't know, but Munster was their attack tonight. as well as the 8-foot ladder Xavier Coates. But apart from
Xavier
that,
Coates was good. Are they still the top team then, 2.0?
yeah, in my
Melbourne
opinion,
Storm.
because we beat them
They are the top team
last year, and they smoked us in the finals. So we take this win because it gets us into the top 4 for now until Canberra play. But yeah, they're still the top team. They're still going to be there. We know Melbourne's and the Penriths don't play well, or don't start hitting their straps until September rocks around. So they're still a very good team, and they're still good. In my opinion, they're still the favourites for the comp.
And I'm
Bulldogs.
very happy that Harry Grant was coming off an injury, so he didn't play a lot of minutes. But that was actually, he said at post game, that was his first ever game at Shark Park playing in an NRL jersey. So he never played there.
Yeah.
So quite interesting.
Right, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, 2.0, give us your 3, 2, 1 before we let you go. Get out of here.
All right. So my partner Sonia, she wants me to give a very honourable mention to Daniel Atkinson. I did say this 14 looks good. He came on and did what he could, and he's got a couple of great tries. Well, they were good tries. Also, he got used as a step ladder. But overall, I thought, what else could he do? He's playing the guy at 6'4", 6'5", and I thought Fitzy's move to swap Ronaldo was genius on the fly. So 1 point. So after that, 1 point, I'm going to give it to Ronnie. I think his energy he brought to the game. He was always looking dangerous. Him and Kale swapped a couple of times, so Ronnie was centre, and it just looked more dangerous to step off the scrum.
They do that a lot.
Yeah. 2 points. Which way am I going here? Blake Brayley. I think Blake was fantastic tonight. Dominant. He easily outpointed Harry Grant. And he's just darting. His defence was great all the time. You can't. Why he's not getting mentioned in Origin in the likes with Reece Robson, I don't know. But anyway, I'm happy that he's not playing because that would be another guy out. And 3 points, the prized recruit, the prize fighter. He wanted to come for a competition. He's definitely leading the charge, Addin Fonua-Blake. I think without him tonight, we don't get anywhere close to him. They were saying in commentary that some of those runs where he gets in between tackles, he just does that little skip and a jump, and he goes for 10, 15 metres. That's what we wanted last year. And we didn't have it. And that's
a step up from Royce Hunt, that's for sure, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah, right. All right, 2.0. Well, good to see you, mate. Thanks for coming in. Give us the rundown from the coach Fitzgibbon, and also your valuable insights as always. So, mate, we'll see you on a future episode, I'm sure. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Thanks, boys.
See you, legend.
See you, mate.
All right. If you want to be a legend like 2.0 and be a champion of the ET Stand, you can click on that link and join the show. We have got a whole bunch of you in here at the moment. We only have 3 likes. Or 3 hearts, Chris. So come on, guys, give us a few more love hearts or likes or whatever it is. Come on, give us at least one. Give us
on what platform? What are we
any platform. I don't know where the platform. Just give us a like. Anyone. Come on, somebody.
What about anything on MySpace?
Oh yeah, let's just go on Grindr or one of those. All right, let's hit through the comments, and then we've got Rob V's just joined us in the green room. Give us a wave, Rob, if you can hear me. Yeah, all right, he's got us. All right, let's hit through these comments. So there's a few of them. B&B.
Oh, yeah.
Bandbone. Yeah, Bandbone. So happy for you for going into the top 4. My Broncos are going not the greatest, and the fact that you knocked the Storm out of the 4, assuming the Raiders beat the Titans, gives me joy. Yeah, you'd have to think they're pretty unpopular team, Melbourne Storm, actually, aren't they, Chris?
Yeah, I made some comments that I you know me, I'm not too bad with the other teams, watching them and not getting involved in it, but I didn't think they really ever got much of the rub of the green as I thought they did tonight. And there was some calls that went against us were quite odd. And I was like,
yeah,
these are Melbourne Storm calls. Like this is very Cam Smith era. So yeah, there was, but yeah, interesting top 4, top 6 at the moment. It's going well. The Waz have won 5 on the trot, and the Bulldogs have only lost 1. But we can actually. There's a comment. Where is this? Here we go. X Defiant says, yes, you're a top 4 team. You've been for 4 years. And then he says, but wait, I forgot who's first. Just going to say this to you, X Defiant. This is what's going to happen. And I applaud you for watching our show.
But you and I both know that your forward pack is not as big as ours. And what's going to happen in the key matches is the Sharks are going to finish third and the Bulldogs are going to finish first. We're going to lose in week one of the finals. Yeah, Bulldogs will be minor premiers.
Ooh.
We are going to lose in week one of the finals, but that's okay because we're going to have a week 2 match in Sydney. We're going to win that. And then week 3, we're going to take on the Bulldogs, and you're going to run out of puff. And our big forwards are going to run through you, Fonua-Blake, and those guys are going to be too big to handle. And then we're going to lose to the Storm in the grand final. That's what's going to happen, Chris.
Can I just say, I think they're doing really well, but we all know about May premiers. Surely they're long enough fans. They've watched games or years over the years where we've been first in the competition. The Dragons many a times have been first. We used to call them the May premiers. And the
Well, that's definitely true. That's definitely true.
Enjoy it while it lasts at the moment. You just don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get Rob in and he can help us respond to some of these comments. Rob, legend. What did you make of the match tonight? Were you at the game, weren't you?
I was at the game. Yeah.
What did you make of it?
I made it back just now. My son has just poked his head in to say g'day. Say g'day to us.
You can jump on.
Hello, mate.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, okay.
What you thinking? All right, that's it.
So,
I was going to ask him a question.
We can ask him a question. Come on, you all were at the game, Fields. Do you want to answer a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Should Talakai, here we ask you this question. Should Talakai start at centre next week?
He asked a question about Talakai.
Should Talakai start at centre next week?
What do you think?
I know. What do you think?
Okay.
Oh, all right. All right,
Yeah,
Rob, you're going to have to answer that one.
I'll cover for him.
Yeah.
I've said it before, so I'll say it again. The softest hands of a big man in the game.
Oh,
Just
how good were they?
unbelievable. He is so good.
Unbelievable. He's so good.
He made, I know, was it 2.0 gave Atkinson a point, right? No, those points belong to Talakai, I'm afraid.
Yeah, definitely do.
Atkinson, let that ball bounce. That Will had to. Oh, anyway, I'll go on to that a bit later. That's one of those strange decisions, CK, that you were talking about. Talakai, what a player! It was amazing. Will he be sent next week? Well, it depends. I don't know what's happening with Ramian. I've basically left the stadium, walked to the car, and driven home. I know that he got his fingers in the eye, but I don't know how bad he is. Hopefully, he's
he
okay.
wasn't on the bench at the end of the match or throughout the match, so that seems to indicate that he might be in pretty bad shape. So I would think that Katoa's not going to be back in time. So let's just if Ramian is floating around, then I quite like Kale Iro as a winger. I just like Kale Iro as a player, just generally.
Yes.
So, but interestingly enough, there's an argument that Ramian should be on the wing because he never passes the damn ball. So if he's on the wing, at least he doesn't have to worry about not passing it to anyone. So I think between Ronaldo, Ramian, Kale Iro, and Talakai, I think that's your 2 to 5, and you've just got to play the players in there. But they seem to be shifting them around a little bit too. Let's go. You're going to help us, Rob, answer some of these comments here. We've covered this one already, so I'm going to get your answer on this one, Rob. Benny Turner in the comments say, why take a penalty to go 11 up?
I honestly cannot answer that. Why? To go 11 up, it just didn't make sense to me.
Well, I love taking the 2, and I even didn't think it was a good idea. Yeah.
It was nonsensical. I was like, we had him on the rack. We need the ball in hand as well. Us with ball in hand when we're down 2 players on the bench, it just makes more sense to have ball in hand to me.
Yeah.
I was mystified. There were many things that mystified me tonight.
that one was certainly mystifying. All right, JFP in the comments asking us, we're best when both Brayley and Nicho are running. Need to keep it up. That's definitely true. I didn't notice from my vantage point Brayley having quite the strong game that everyone else seems to be dishing out. But that could also be from where I was sitting. And quite frankly, I frequently miss stuff. That's why I'm the host and ask the questions rather than being the expert, Rob. What'd you make of Brayley?
Loved it. He's later on we get to
So
points. He's got points from me. I'd like to see our win percentage when he runs. You know, there are games where he doesn't run, and then when he runs like he does today, I just think our win percentage goes up by a mile. Come on, Brayley is greater than Robson. Robson's a plotter. I'm sorry, but Brayley can break a game.
As much as I want him to tick that personal goal list, I don't want him anywhere near that competition.
No, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
I think he's well deserving on it, and they spoke to him. Williams brought it up, but Mount gave him a shout out. Brandy said that he's been, in the camp for the last 3 or 4 seasons, so he's in that earmark. And you know what, the Cowboys didn't go that great tonight as well. So it's only a coin toss, I reckon, between him and Robs at the moment, because I just don't think Appy hasn't played 80 minutes all season. He's been getting replaced most games by De Silva. So Robson's, he's there as an incumbent, but I'll tell you, Brayley's right on his heels.
Well, should he be the interchange hooker?
Depends what they go with.
Yeah. Do we often play an interchange hooker in State of Origin? We generally play a mixed bag of fruit.
Well, they had Nicho on the bench, didn't they?
Yeah, Connor Watson was who they've had.
Connor Watson,
Watson's their banding around, the park. And Brails can play, as we know, in the halves and at hooker.
It's probably true.
Let's just get picked by about 4 or 5 players this week, and I know Lindsay Collins is going to be, and probably Connor Watson, a couple more, and they're a really depleted side next week.
Yeah.
Well, that would be handy. All right, Frank Killiman in the comments is saying, if I can just get that to work. No, there we go. A crazy game, absolute lottery with those ref decisions. Feel we gifted Storm 12 or more points. I thought we were a bit hard done by on some of those decisions tonight, especially that one with the Kennedy one where he's tackled off the ball. Rob,
that's the one that really stupefied me. He knocks the ball on, that's true, but then he's knocked over by Hughes when he's trying to get to.
And then they go goal.
And they're not called. I was just, you can hear my voice is somewhat gone. I was doing a little bit of yelling. The poor people around me, I fear for their eardrums. But
right.
Yeah,
the strange one for me was I know Ronnie likes to play for a high shot and he challenged and it wasn't even close.
Yeah. But
then he was falling at the stage and the contact was incidental. Now Farlago in the first 5 minutes was ducked back under and Farlago about 3 foot high, and on replay it showed Ronnie just clipped the top of his headgear. Yet that was a brouhaha broke out, and it was just I was like, hang on, they're the same penalty. Like I don't understand.
What about the Papenhuyzen one at the end?
Yeah, well the referee.
Oh, that was weird. Oh, I was so worried it was a penalty against us, Rob. I was. You're just sitting there going, "Oh, this is going to be some bullshit controversial penalty here." Where it goes their way, that wasn't.
Well, Felix noticed also that the timer went off. There was 13 seconds, and then there was no time at all. It was like, what was happening? I don't understand what's going on.
Well, there was no time on the Papenhuyzen shot when the brouhaha broke Ronnie's. So they had a kick for touch off the penalty. So there was no time left on that play. So whatever happened on that play was done and dusted. So, but Boldo, to throw a real spanner in the works, I forgot. Talakai hit Papenhuyzen around the head. He's on report for that shot.
Yeah, I know.
So
I thought it was going to be a penalty.
No, what I'm saying is
that was further down the field.
Yeah, he's already on report for the Papenhuyzen drop ball on the 30 metre. So we might see a completely different back line this week.
Well, he didn't swing his arm, unlike Papenhuyzen at Ronnie at the last instant. Basically on the ground.
Well, the referee did say that. He said to Harry Grant, if there was time left, he'd be sin binned, but there's no time left. He said to Innes, it's your penalty, but there's no time left, so we're just going to end the game, so there's no fights at the end, because it was already temperatures were high, flaring. People wanted to push on.
Lucky we didn't need the for and against.
Ronnie actually layered up upon seeing the replay when he realised what had happened on the ground, and the blokes say, mate, we won the game, go back, just end it. So,
yeah, right. I'll get you to answer this comment for us, Rob. Luke Perry. That's such a great name, Luke Perry. Dylan from Beverly Hills.
The lamented
90210.
past. Luke Perry.
He's made us a 19th century carousel out of those balloons. It's asking us, Billy Burns is in great form. I made the comment at the match, Rob, that I thought that of the fringe first graders, and I include Stone Street, I think Billy Burns is the big of the bunch now. He's not that far off being. My God, if Teague Wilton asked us for $800,000, I'd be very.
There's questions there.
I'd be very comfortable.
More than Teague does. I would say, looking at the last two games, yes. I loved when he launched Hughes. Yeah. How good was that?
Yeah. Yeah. He's playing well. He's got
more bows to his, more strings to his bow than Teague does. He's got good hands. He can kick.
Can play in the centres.
He can play in the centres. I wouldn't be surprised, well, depending on what happens to Talakai now, if we see Billy Burns in the centres. Because I also like Iro on the wing.
I don't mind Iro on the wing either. All right, Rob, give us your 3-2-1, mate.
3. I'm going AFB. Just the foundation. I love his try celebrations. Are you not entertained with the hands wide when he gets through? It's like I can do this whenever I want.
A great point where there was 10 minutes to go, and he fake played the ball backwards.
Oh yes,
in the wrong direction.
Yes, that was hilarious.
He pretended to play the ball in the wrong direction, shook it off, and turned around and played the ball. It was great showmanship.
Yeah, I didn't see that. That's hilarious.
Oh, you go and see it. It's great.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh, that's very funny. All right, so 3 for AFB.
2 for Brails. I thought his running game. I just really believe that makes such an enormous difference for us, and it gives Hynes more space to run as well. Just gives us time, and that we need that. So often on the back of AFB, and I also noticed, by the way, Hamlin Ueli brought a little bit of the AFB step in.
Yes, right.
Today, and played a really great game today. But my one point is Talakai. Hit like a truck. It's just smashing people. The flick passes and the soft hands. Love him to death. They're my 3.
That's really good. I like it. Oh, he lost. Boldo's gone to mute.
Yeah, apparently. All right. Well, just you and I then. Yeah. We'll do that.
We'll keep the grey beards going. Boldo, you can stay on mute. If you can't press unmute, too bad. So.
Oh yeah, no, there we go. I'm back. Sorry. Can you hear me?
That's all right. Yeah. Hey, look, something that really stood out for me was the player ball.
Give us. Yep, free hit. Yep, go.
The speed of the player ball. Melbourne were lying all over us. And I'd really like to see the timings on that between the first half and the second half. I'm sure they got, Craig told them no, lie all over the top of them. There were flops galore.
Yes.
I mean, and nothing was penalised. It was back to the Cameron Smith days.
That also happened.
That Hughes one where he was trying to get a challenge and he came in as a third man. The tackle was complete, held on, wanted, but you can't have the challenge, and the referee just said play on. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, just penalise the team, penalise them.
Yeah, he lost control.
Yeah,
that ref. My eyes aren't good enough to tell who it was, but he was not in control of that game in the second half, and that was very disappointing. Anyway, Boulder, you probably missed my 3-2-1s, but that was I've already given.
Oh no, they were superb. I can't believe that you said 3 points to Atkinson, 2 points to 2 points to Braden Trindle, and 1 point to Jesse Ramian. It was a very unusual selection. Ramian went off after like 10 minutes, mate. But just checking. All right, Rob, thanks for coming in, mate. It's always a pleasure when you get to join us. You're an absolute legend. We love seeing you on the show and in the comment section. So
thanks, gentlemen.
Good to see you, buddy. Well, see you next time for sure.
Bye.
Thanks, mate. See you guys. All right, that was the great Rob V, who's joining us. All right, we've got a whole bunch of comments to go through here. So let's go through them. Let's bash them out. Ned Smith in the comments saying, great game by the Sharks. I agreed. Mr. Dave asks us, do you think South will beat the Tigers? I put 250 on South. I'm going to say no to that. I think the Tigers will bounce back, Chris. I think, Mr. Dave, that might not be such a good bet, Chris.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd probably stick with the Tigers bounce back at this stage. South was a character building win over the Broncos in a comeback rainy condition. I just think, the Tigers probably have another point to prove on a bounce back.
If I had $250 spare, I probably would have put it on the Sharks, actually, Chris. I think they were a probably better bet.
Did you tip Cronulla this week?
I did.
Oh, dude. It was only me and you then.
Yeah, no, I tipped it, and I even had the Storm guy on the opposition preview, and I'm like, nah. He was good, though, the Storm guy on the opposition fan preview.
So it was Williams and Franco that said no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what would they know? Bloody just Sharks podcast host. What would they know? All right, Ned Smith in the comments. Nicho played well. He needs to show that he can play big games. That's true. That was a good game, big game from Nicho. He wasn't enormously dominant, but in these difficult big games, it's tough to be massively dominant because otherwise they wouldn't be big games. Jake Matuzik, the Sharkies. Good to see you, Jakey.
Oh, Jake, I saw you had a better status on his Facebook, and it was a bit more not PG. It was pretty good.
Jake backs that up with then saying, that's SIP of the cheat code. Mr. Dave is backing it up with what a great win. Ronaldo can yap, though, more than Scotty. That's probably fair. Jake has responded, Harodi, question mark, for the Wings. I think Harodi's injured, Jake. Not sure that he'll be around.
He's still busted.
All right. Paul is in the comment section. Paul, good to see you. Paul saying AFB's performance tonight is the best of any middle this season. All the votes should go to front three. I think that's probably fair, Paul. And luckily for you, you've joined a fair bit into the show because we spent a bit of time talking about how good Talakai was in the centres, Paul. I'll have to get your response to that comment. Tomo in the comments is saying that 229 metres for AFB. That is absolutely massive. With Ned backing that up, saying that AFB should be on $1 million per season if he's not already.
Well, he is.
Well, something like that. There we go. We got SJD's 3-2-1s in. He's gone 3 AFB, 2 for Brayley, and 1 for Talakai, which is exactly the same as Rob. Jake Matuzik said, did they take the penalty so that they could eat up the clock? Yes, they did definitely do that. Hellfire, Paintball, Salt Ash, New South Wales, AU Australia. There we go. I just gave you an ad for Hellfire Paintball, saying up. Hellfire Paintball, sponsor the ET Stand podcast. Send me an email. Ned Smith, I think Munster can win the Daily M. That's definitely true. And this was SJD in the comments saying Nicho's first win against this mob.
Yeah.
God, we just these comments just keep.
We got a really good
going,
against the Storm at Shark Park, so it's good.
Yeah, that's true. Paul in the comments saying against the Bulldogs, we tried to go around them tonight. We went through the middle. That is how we're going to beat them in the playoffs. Paul. All right, sweet. I tell you what's funny is that when I stay at my parents' place, Chris, someone always pranks me and puts an alarm clock near where I sleep, and it's going off now. I can hear it in the bloody background. Someone's clearly trying to get me. All right, Scott Breedy. Who are our two best centers? Is the door back open for the conversation? You know it is, Scott. You know it is.
Surely it's the leading tile. We can save the admin lady a bit of time and just reuse that one. She's more excited to change the team list this week than anything. The team list is certainly going to get a change this week, isn't it? It certainly is. All right, then Tomo in the comments saying he joined the show, but he's too scared to join because Boldo will tell him I'm wrong. Now that was just one time, Tomo, and you were wrong. It's too good.
The Scooter coming through the comments. Scooter. Good to say yes, Scooter. What's going on, boys? You know what's going on, Scooter. You know what's going on. The Sharks won. Let's go, baby.
Scooter was a great shot that a young fella sent me your shirt off early on. Boldo's not impressed.
All right, Jake in the comments is giving us the points. He's going 1 point for Talakai, 2 for Brayley, and 3 points for Cam McInnes. Talakai to start at centre next week.
Oh yeah, we'll have to get Franco to put the poll up already on YouTube.
I'll say. Yeah, that's Franco. Get the poll up on YouTube. We'll send him that text message now. I'll send that to him. Poll on YouTube.
I'll do one on Instagram as well. We'll put a couple of polls up and see who we can get as our centre.
All right, that's definitely true. All right, Hosea, XCI, or Jose. I think that's how I said it. Good game, well done from a Warriors supporter. Love seeing the Storm lose. See you in a few weeks. You certainly will do that. And Hosea, we'll see. We'll get the guys from Wires Up TV to join us for an episode 2 on the ET Stand. You'll certainly enjoy that.
Wales on fire, 5 in a row. They're right. They're coming second now, up on the ladder.
Scooter, boldly, what was I doing wrong tonight to have the police? You know what you were doing wrong. God, you're bloody the worst. Then you're trying to get me to take my shirt off. All right, Scotty McLaren. I think to take the 2 was this. There we go. Giving us a serious comment, bringing us. I think to take the 2 was the Storm could only score through Coates and Pappy couldn't kick from the sideline, so they would need to score 3 tries. That is a good point, Scott. Latino is through in the comments. He's so sick that he can't type much. 3 for AFB, 2 for Brails, and 1 for Ronnie. X-Define has given us a reply. I'll take being made premiers. On a serious note, you boys do a stream for your State of Origin teams. Well, we're not going to have any State of Origin players, mate. So, no. We're going to do a stream. I reckon we should do a live watch-along for the State of Origin, Chris.
I don't know. I don't know how far I can censor it. There's a problem.
Yeah. JFP is echoing the sentiment that we had earlier with Rob when he's saying, do we make a place with Billy Burns once Teague is back?
Yes.
I'd say Billy Burns might find his way onto the bench because we're short of forwards anyway. So I think that might just happen.
We had
anyway.
Discussion on Tuesday, and most of us thought he was going to take Atkinson's role as the utility. So we'll see.
I think that might be better. Jake Matuzik, Munster is a pest, and somehow managed to manipulate a 6 again from Billy, which results in a try, and same on Kennedy. Somehow he gets away with things just like Anastasia.
Aldo, can we talk about that one, the Kennedy one, where Munster was all over Will Kennedy? He actually dropped a forearm on top of him. Kennedy was take the bait.
Oh, that was the rake. That was the one where he raked it out? Yeah, that was BS as well.
No, Kennedy was silly enough to take the bait and leap forward into Munster losing the ball. So it should have been a penalty for holding down, but Kennedy was silly enough to do one of those leaping forwards trying to get the 6 again instead of just lying there and copping the 6 again, or a penalty.
Yeah.
Lost the ball cold. So, yeah, it should have been our penalty. So it was another shocker by the referee, but they've had shockers all weekend. If everyone's watched other games this week, there was a shocker in the Warriors game today. It was ridiculous.
Kennedy.
Oh, go on.
I knew I had to put him at the top of the player tiers this week, just because he was gonna.
Fine.
He was gonna drop down.
The lead balloon's happening.
And I asked last week at the bubble burst with Kennedy, and maybe it has. It's just those drop ball mistakes are just so bad.
But he helped set up that last try to Atkinson, like I said, and he was better. He was better as the game went on. There was a loud cheer when he actually caught a bomb towards the end. And look, we caused them to drop those kicks as well in the first half with that breeze. That's why I asked you how bad was it of the Bermuda Triangle breeze, because it seemed like I
noticed it much walking into the game, but we were in the stand in the undercover, so what would we know?
He was doing the start of the second half and putting those. They were calling them knuckleballs on commentary, where they're those turning bombs, not giving much chance. But God, I'm telling you, if Ronnie was trying to catch him, the ball would have gone 20 minutes forward as well. So it was like we're just talking about with Ron. It's kind of weird that Kennedy stuck his hand out when the ball was just away from him and caused the knock on. Like, he should have just booted it. Should have done the old Peachy and just booted on the foot, sent it 40 metres the other way and let it restart.
Yeah. All right. Other comments. Scott Latino is in here saying, good to see BHU hard running and getting through minutes. And Calhoun has been awesome. And then Rob Wall in the comments. Can we talk about you, Boldo, saying what is going on with Anderson? Or it must have been Atkinson and Talakai. Then they combined for a try. Oh, no, that was never in doubt. Come on, what are you talking about? I know that Talakai's a gun. Here we go. Paul's giving us a response back. He let one try in because of a lack of pace. Don't risk it again. Oh, Paul, I'm so sorry. I think you're right, though. Look, he's not Ramian and he's not Euro, but he's the third choice. Robocop in the comments saying, great win. And then Rob saying, I see SJ and I are aligned on the points. That's definitely try. And there we go. We just answered that one from Robocop, haven't we, Chris?
Yeah, it wasn't just the elbow, it was also the laying down. And then, like I said, Kennedy took the bait, but it was just Boldo chalked him up for another knock on. So, but I thought Kennedy, did you think first half though, Boldo?
He had that brilliant move where they kicked it into the in goal, and then he managed to jink around the two kick chase guys and get back in the field of play. I thought that was pretty good. Like, we still do love Kennedy, but the drop balls.
Yeah, there was
like
no
Peachy never dropped. Peachy never dropped it, mate.
There was no daily M points coming for him this week.
No, certainly not. But JFP is reminding us that Kennedy was solid besides those few errors. Still has a lead. And then Rob is asking us, where would you rank this in the best wins at Shark Park, Boldo?
Ooh. I tell you what, though, I was gonna ask you this because we have beaten, like I said, we've beaten the Storm the last that's now 4 times in a row at Sharks. They haven't won, and including the Cam Smith sin bin one, which was
I'd say the Cam Smith sin bin one was bigger.
But most of our great wins at home in the last 10 years against the Storm, like we've built up a great rivalry with them, like a really good rivalry. And I said to you, we'd had to drag them down, but we put on 31 points. That's pretty good against the Storm, who won 64-0 the week before.
That's true, and also held out the Tigers, who we know have got a good attack. And where does it rank?
Even though we're not even halfway through the season, they haven't been behind at half-time all year since the grand final.
Oh, it's a massive win for the Sharkies. It's a statement win, by all means. What do I think it means? Where does it set history in terms of long-term wins? Look, it's certainly memorable. It's not as big as the one when Cam Smith got sin binned or the Brandon Smith ones against either of those guys. There was a match in the mid-90s where there was one of the early Saturday night matches where the Sharks beat the Canberra Raiders, and that really announced us that history of that John Lang team in 1995. That was a big win when we beat the Premiers in the 90s. There's one that certainly stands out.
And surely the one we just did a look back on, the Manly one, we absolutely.
The Manly one's good. I actually think the Newcastle ones were actually pretty big in and around 2001 and 2002. Those were big wins. Certainly the Kamali one with the 64-14. But that's not exactly the closest of wins. Look, what we're going to do, Rob, we'll do a segment for you on the ET Stand on Tuesday night. We'll get Matty to give us his top 5 all-time top 5 Shark wins. Rob Valensky in the comments saying Sharknado. That one was good too. Sharknado was good.
And I was going to say Sharknado is one of my favourites.
Sharknado was very good. Look, I think one of those 2016 ones in that streak, one of those will stand out. One just doesn't come to mind straight away.
I think it was victory because, like Williams touched on, we were hyped to play the Dogs at home. We hadn't played home, the last 6 weeks. So bit of pressure on, but also, and we're playing Melbourne. Like I said, had a big victory, but, we expected to put up a good fight against the Dogs, maybe get a victory. That didn't happen. And then last year, like Williams touched on, playing the Panthers and got her absolutely pants pulled down and flogged when we were up on a high, and they were sort of,
Oh, that one was brutal.
Yeah, so I think this race up there because we haven't experienced it in so long. We wanted to beat the Storm. They're everyone's already talking them up as premiers or the team to beat, and we beat them. We beat them well. I thought across the park, we were the better team on the.
FJD in the comments is saying one of the best wins was beating the Warriors at Shark Park after Will Kennedy was sent off early. Yes. Also remember that one. And then Rob Wall's chipping in asking us, do you think Mulitalo went too far with the chirping? Nah, love it. I want everyone to hate him. It's good.
Yeah.
I think, that one's quite good. All right, Chris, give us your 3, 2, 1s.
Well, just like most of the time, I agree with Lat. So My three were very, very close together in AFB. Was getting my three over Brayley. So AFB was over 200 metres, scored a great try. We noticed the difference when he wasn't on the field, and when he come back on, we noticed the difference. I agree, Williams. He probably saved a couple of tries as well. It was massive, and I'm going to try and find the highlight, Baldo, and send it to you when he balked to play the ball backwards, because it was quite hilarious. But yeah,
Definitely.
that's what we brought him in for. We've laid the platform. So the 2 goes to Brayley, because on the back of that platform, Brayley was really quick out of dummy half, was really good defensively, was getting the boys rolling forward, taking advantage of AFB's platform, and then close to Acco, but 1 goes to Ronnie just for the chirp. Scored a great try against Farlago, set up another one to KL Hero, to Superman, and then also switching sides where we needed him. Switching sides to finish off the game was a great coaching move, and he took it well and took it on. So, yeah, AFB, Brayley, and Ronnie.
Rob Walensky also wanted to call out. Forgot to mention moving Ronnie and Acco from side to side to get away from Coates. That was brilliant how they did that and moved him from one side to the other. And then they moved Coates back, and then Ronaldo went back, and then he switched back again. Like, that was just absolutely brilliant. I did quite enjoy that. All right, well, my 3-2-1s, I'm going to go 1 point Ronaldo for the chirp. I certainly enjoyed that. I'm going to go 2 points for AFB. And I think the 3 points is undeniable. He's been playing 20 minutes in most of the matches he's played this season. He played in the centres and set up 2 absolute brilliant tries with those soft hands, reminding us why he is just so good as a utility player. And we need to find a way to get Sifa Talakai more minutes. So Talakai gets my 3 points for this week's 3-2-1. Thanks to Solve Accounting, I'll say, are the supporter of the debrief and always helping us out with any of our accounting needs on the ET Stand. Absolute legends. Chris, what did you? Let's do the Franco question. Did you enjoy that game? What did you give it out of 10?
Yeah, I'm going to give that a high 8.5. I thought it was high quality.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like the boys said already on the debrief, there wasn't much downtime in between the games, so a lot of shots going on. So a lot of old school rugby league where there was players trying to get a few high shots and it was play on. I thought your favourite new player, Grant Anderson, was pretty strong that first 5 minutes.
I still don't know who Grant Anderson is.
I thought we absorbed the pressure great, and Innes was sort of lauding how good Melbourne Storm were looking, but we caught 4 sets in a row and only took 1 try on. And then as soon as we got the ball, we went down there and scored again. I thought, game on, and Nicho's kicking from the sideline. That was
good.
We had Scorigami. You can't, we had
it did have Scorigami.
We had pushing and shoving. We had, a last second gasp for the defib. It's what you want out of a rugby league game. And shout out to Franco's favourite commentator, Dan Ganane, who said this is the kind of tape we want to send to Vegas to promote rugby league. So 8.5 for me.
I'm going to give it a 10. I thought it was great. Anytime the Sharks could beat the Melbourne Storm at home in a big match with missing a whole bunch of players, there was drama, there was stuff happening. Or maybe it's a 9.5. It was typically, it's just an absolutely brilliant match. So I thoroughly enjoyed that one. All right, well, look, we've got a couple more comments. We'll just round those out. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. It helps advise other Sharks fans of what we've got going on.
Franco did go for 3.5 hours tonight, so...
we could have gone for 3.5 hours. Also, we got the Discord channel, so if you want to be involved in our chat and carry on during the matches, we certainly do have that. I was going to introduce the comments competition tonight, but I forgot to do it at the start. And God, we got so many comments. There's no way that I'll ever do that. So we'll start that from next week's debrief. I think we'll do that. Beyond that, Jake Matuzik is coming in just saying, ha, Boldo, man, crushing on Talakai. And I'm just going to say this to you, Jake. I'm man crushing for you. And anyone else who just loves the Sharks at the moment, you're a beautiful human being, Jake. So good to see you in the comments. And then Rob Wall rounding this one out. Ronaldo switching sides reminds me of soccer Ronaldo switching sides to confuse the opposition. Now, that is certainly true as well. And Jake Matuzik saying, send me the Discord. We will definitely do that for you, Jakey. All right, that was the ET Stand podcast for the Cronulla Sharks 31 over the Melbourne Storm 26 in a weird Scorigami Storms. The Storms. The 4-time premiership winners. You and your 6 grand final winners can fizz off. How you going now, Ryan Hoffman?
Don't forget who we beat to win a premiership too.
Oh, I was giving that guy
Great
from
rivalry. I
Stormcast.
love it now. I love
I was
it.
giving the guy from Stormcast a whole bunch of stick. No one actually commented on the opposition fan preview thumbnail that I did. I got the AI drawing of Stormy Daniel, the adult film actress. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, anyway, anyone thought that was good? Let me know what you thought in the comments. We'll be back Tuesday night this week with the regular Tuesday night show. We will have the opposition fan preview. I think I'm going to get Tim from KO Sports. He's going to be joining me for the opposition preview. Tim is a very learned media manager for KO Sports, so that should be an interesting chat. And then, Chris, when do the Origin teams get named? Is that this weekend?
Tomorrow night, yep. After the last game.
Tomorrow night. So we'll have to have a think around what we do for the Origin. I think we will do a watch along. I think that will be funny. It'll just be us watching ourselves, just getting annoyed at the state of Origin. Indeed. All right, Chris. Anything else from you, mate? Before we get out of here?
Another great victory. Me and you called it. It's all you wanted.
That's right. All right, Robbie's in the comments saying, "Good on you, Boldo. Great pod. Great match from the Sharks." Yes.
Actually, Boldo, what did you think of Zach's Golo jacket I sent him on to wear tonight?
He was wearing my Golo jacket. I thought he was looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought he was looking very good. And then Rob in the comments, up, bloody up. All right, actually, we'll I should have done that too. Actually, I can.
Yeah, we should have started with it. Oh,
31 points to 26. Hey,
you drowned yourself out there.
Well, it does happen a little bit, doesn't it? All right, Sharks with 31 points to 26. They go to play the Sydney Roosters on Saturday next week, which hopefully a state of origin depleted Sydney Roosters. The Sharkies are up in the top 4. Season's looking pretty good. We'll see you guys on Tuesday night. Up, Cronulla.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Post.